Welcome to It All Boils Down to This, the podcast where father and son take the kitchen table arguments and heated discussions from their home directly to yours. Jim and Jack Boyle will explore the world as only they can. We might even let a few guests join the fun. So sit back, choose a side, watch the water temperature rise, and enjoy stimulating generational conversation about sports and life. We got Core Discord bringing us in there. Thanks, Jack. Episode 23, it all boils down to this. God, can you believe it, Jack? We made 23 episodes, and we come to the almost the penultimate games of the NFL season coming up next week. A really interesting weekend this weekend, NFL-wise. A couple other things have happened. We're gonna let's start with the NFL. And again, we had some fights last night over the way you gave up on the Chiefs. But let's.
I did not. There's no giving up on the Chiefs. I mean, to accuse me of giving up on the Chiefs when I'm the one person, I'm going to say it. I'm in the media. The one person in the entire landscape of the whole media that has not given up on the Chiefs is me. So don't.
Oh, if everyone
don't give me that.
If everyone could have heard you, you Kevin did big time last night. You Kevin did big time last night.
Did you not see the guy fumble on the 1 yard line and almost cost them the game?
I did see that, just like you did.
Okay.
I did see that. Don't worry. And I think it's important that we saw that. But other than that, it was just funny listening to you through the whole game. Nicole Hardman is going to cost him the Super Bowl. Nicole Hardman is going to cost him the third Super Bowl. Nico, whatever the hell his name is.
You start off Nicole.
You know what? And for a guy who ended up
really
crappy numbers, one rush, minus one two fumbles, one reception, plus one.
He touched the ball twice. He fumbled twice.
That's awesome. So we'll get to the Chiefs last. Chiefs-Bills game last, because that was probably the best game of the night.
So you said episode 23. Can't believe you made it here. It's easy to do 23 episodes when every week we have the NFL and college football to talk about. So once this ends, that's when it starts to get a little bit tough to start doing shows when nothing's going on.
I don't know about that. We're going to have the Sox.
I do know about
the Sox
that.
Will be
Football drives everything. Football drives, drives the media in this country.
We got the Sox.
The prime sports media time in the country is September through February. It just is. And then it kind of dies down a little bit. And we'll see. We got the Sox. I don't watch the Sox.
Well, I'm going to watch them.
You say the Red Sox?
I'm going to watch them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, whatever. But you know what? We will have, and today we're going to discuss some college basketball, a specific version.
Women's college basketball, not men's.
And we also then have some Celtics Nuggets to talk about. I do want to go over the farce that was Winter Weekend down in Springfield for the Red Sox. And then finally we look at who do we think, as we get ready to transition from football to basketball, who do we see out there as the championship basketball teams? But let's first start.
Are we going to do that, a draft? So
we're not going to draft.
No, let's do it, because we'll pull it up. We're going to do a quick draft seven wonders of the NBA, so we'll each get 7 NBA teams and see who wins. I mean, really, you only need to pick like 4 teams, but that's what we'll do. We'll get back into drafts today. We'll get back into
Can you believe that there are 14 teams
NBA.
that we're going to pick? God, I'll take the Lakers.
Yeah, who's the four? Yeah, who's the? That's a good
point.
I'll
take the Lakers and Golden State.
Good value pick, getting the Lakers 14th. Maybe something clicks there. They suck. All right, let's get into football.
All right, Jack. Real quick. We're not going to go quick. NFL playoffs. First game last on Saturday at Baltimore. The Ravens played their first game of the season, and the Ravens played Houston. Both of us picked Baltimore. No, you picked Houston, right?
I did pick Houston just to be a little bit controversial. Mainly because I wanted Houston to win just because it'd be easier for the Chiefs. But that's why. Okay, so the game we watched, Baltimore sort of exerted their will on the young quarterback. He didn't play all that bad. What do you take away from that game? Houston didn't score an offensive touchdown. Baltimore's defense is scary. That building, the stadium is scary. Look, it's going to be tough for the Chiefs to go in there and win, but yeah, that was just kind of, they were tied. It was 10-10 at halftime, but that second half wasn't even close. They dominated them. I do it every time. They played that game 10 times. Ravens win at 9.5, maybe even 10. So yeah, no, the Ravens, I think they're the best team in the league. I think they can definitely say after this round that they're number one. They're the favorites for sure.
And the irony of that 10-10 tie is that they dominated the first half, and except for that punt return by Houston, it would have been. We were looking at a 10-3, and then whatever the final was, 31-10, whatever that final was. Their defense did dominate, and it'll help lead them forward. Plus, they were at home. I think the most impressive thing was Lamar Jackson's play. I thought he did a really good job running and passing, and not getting hurt, not getting hit. Whether you talk defense or I still think, and we'll get back to this when we get to all the quarterbacks that are left. I think that it's vitally important for them to keep him upright, and he will determine whether they beat the Chiefs or not. Yes or no?
Lamar, yeah, for sure. If Lamar plays great, the Chiefs won't beat them. They just won't. Like, I guess I know the Chiefs have a great defense, but you can score on that defense, and I think at the end of the day, like the Ravens have some really good fast linebackers that are just going to do a good job of probably taking Kelsey out of the game. So it's going to have to be other people who are going to beat you, the Chiefs, and I don't know if that's coming. So basically, what you need is the defense to shut down Lamar. If Lamar plays well, they're going to win the game.
And the other thing that'll happen is Mark Andrews is due to come back as well, so they add another weapon to his arsenal. I don't know whether he'll be full speed or not, but it'll help. And again, he looks good. I watched that football game. He looked the part of the MVP. He didn't look the part of the
still got to keep him in the
guy
pocket
rushing.
and make him throw. Like he can. I'm not saying he can't throw the ball, but the way you beat, you got to make it. You can't let him get out of the pocket. You can't.
Well, that doesn't bode well then for Kansas City. They didn't do a good job keeping Josh Allen in the pocket either. But neither here nor there.
Their thing was the thing with Josh Allen was the trade-off is you almost take him running around instead of and you take away throws over the middle and throws all the way downfield. While Lamar, you kind of want him to do that. While the Chiefs were like, you know what, you can run, you can scramble, you can move around, but you're not beating us downfield. What was it? He was 16 for 16 or something on throws that were thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Right. So he was dinking and dunking, and you saw at the end of the game, he got frustrated. He started taking shots at the end zone. I know Diggs dropped the ball, but the last two plays, he had open guys for 10 yards, and he decided to go with the hero play because he got frustrated.
All right,
that's how you play the two different quarterbacks.
We'll get back to Josh. I'm talking about Lamar Jackson, who I think is a better football player right now than Josh Allen. We were talking about that last night. I forgot it. I put Lamar number 2 behind Mahomes.
I don't know.
That's how I look at that.
I don't know. Look, Lamar's great, but just there's something about Josh Allen. I said it as
Josh Allen favorite.
As a Chiefs fan, as a so-called Chiefs fan, there's not a quarterback that scares me more than Josh Allen. I don't know why. Even though they beat him all the time, it's just when he has the ball, you feel like he's going to do something.
The most shocking thing about the Baltimore, it's like their first time to the AFC Championship game since like 10, 12 years now, like 2012 or whatever, since they won the Super Bowl. That team has been, John Harbaugh's had that team for 12, 13 years, and they've never gotten to this point, and now they get the home game. And it's indicative of the fact that this might be the best team he's had since the Super Bowl champion. And now they have the chance to go.
This team's better than that Super Bowl champion team, I think. Honestly, that Super Bowl champion team, they just went on a good run. They came from the wild card. I don't even remember what seed they were. This team is better than that Super Bowl team, and it's hard to say that, but because they won the Super Bowl. But this Ravens team is the best team he's had. Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's postmortem on Houston, who was not supposed to be there, right? And they did there. C.J. Stroud. What's the future look for him?
I don't know. It's good. Their outlook is good. But it's just like, who was in the divisional round last year, and you're like, oh, they're going to take the next step. Lost the Kansas City divisional round. Jacksonville. And they took a step back, so you never know. There's a good chance, because they won the division, right?
Yeah.
Did the Texans?
Yes.
Texans won the division, so they have the hard schedule next year. You could see them take a step back next year, but yeah, the quarterback looks good for the future. But they definitely, I will say they'll probably take a step back next year.
Right, and that division they play in is kind of crappy, right? Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee. So new coach in one of the spots. A lot of change in Jacksonville. Indy is Indy, of course, and then Houston. So I like I said, it's a quarterback-driven league. C.J. Stroud has proven that he can quarterback in the league. He struggled a little bit with getting everybody involved. But you can't argue with the fact they got to the division round when they probably weren't even expected to win to even get to the playoffs. So, future is bright in Houston, but Baltimore moves on, continuing with home field advantage. Second game of the night was the disappointing one. Very close game that Green Bay had probably. I would say Green Bay outplayed the Niners the whole way. I know that Core Discord's lead singer, David Inbert, a big 49er fan. But, David, if you're listening, they didn't deserve to win that football game.
Yeah, no.
What's your take on how that whole thing played out, and who are the key factors?
Look, 49ers, if Brock Purdy's your quarterback, you're going to limp your way. Even if you have the best roster in the league, you're going to limp your way to win the Super Bowl with a quarterback like that. That's how, like you said, it's a quarterback-driven league. The Packers, I don't know how they lost that football game. Like, I still can't figure out how they lost that football game. It makes no sense to me how they lost that football game. Jordan Love, who again, gets all the praise and all that, and he probably no one expected him to be there, He threw up on himself he pulled a Brett Favre, right. He pulled an Aaron Rodgers, he threw up on himself playing the 49ers in the playoffs. Absolutely puked on himself the whole fourth quarter. He played great earlier in the game. I was watching the game, I was like, Jesus, they got another Hall of Fame quarterback here. Then you watch the fourth quarter and you're like, ugh. Honestly, my whole opinion changed on him with how bad he played in that fourth quarter. I can't believe they lost that game. McCaffrey's a great player. It's funny, Brock Purdy gets the post-game interview with Aaron Andrews. McCaffrey scored 2 touchdowns, did all the work. Like, right. What am I here for?
Well, I look at it this way. First, we'll go to Jordan Love. They didn't convert early. They had opportunity in the red zone first half, didn't convert. The kid missed. Again, it's just so funny that in reality, we're judging a team and a quarterback and a whole process on a field goal kicker who misses a kick, misses an easy kick. An easy kick that would have given the 7-point lead. Doesn't mean they were going to win in overtime because the Niners were at home. And the Niners had the unicorn. The Niners had McCaffrey. And I think McCaffrey is such a big difference maker as we go forward here in the playoffs in the next 2 rounds. He can dominate a game from the 2 different angles, from running or receiving. But back to Jordan Love, I think that they just, whether LaFleur gets conservative, and he was that way with Aaron Rodgers. He had Jones running up a storm, and all of a sudden, Jordan Love's throwing the ball across his body and all that other crap. So those are learning experiences. So Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, 2 quarterbacks really in their first year of playing.
No, and it is what it is with the Packers, and everyone's jealous. Like, oh my God, 3 straight quarterbacks now. These quarterbacks don't win. They've won 2 Super Bowls. Jordan Love's never won a Super Bowl, so screw the Packers. I'm sick of the Packers, honestly. That game left a bad taste in my mouth because I wanted, like I said, I want the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I need the good teams eliminated. I want the 49ers eliminated as fast as possible. They should have lost that game. They just, I don't know. It hurts. It hurts.
Plus, Green Bay had Deebo Samuel out of the game.
So I was about to bring that up.
That didn't really. But that made Purdy look a little bit even weaker.
Yeah, obviously.
They dropped a couple interceptions
until the last drive.
Right. Even then, in the last drive,
he made a couple throws.
Right. He made a couple throws, but he found Mr. McCaffrey. Okay. But so with Deebo Samuel, the 49ers. Let's before we do a postmortem. How far does Brock Purdy take them?
I just have a weird feeling because they played so poor in that last game. They're going to roll. They're just going to roll over Detroit at home. I don't know. I think they're going to lose in the Super Bowl to whoever wins that AFC game. I said I think the 3 best teams in the NFL were before last night's game. I said were the Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens. I thought those were the 3 best teams. So.
I think the Niners better than the Bills.
No, not even close. I don't think so, not at all. The Bills would, if the Bills would kill the Niners, they would. The Niners.
No, they wouldn't.
The Niners are not good. They're not good. They're gonna have a good performance, beat Detroit. They're gonna come out in the Super Bowl and embarrass themselves. They are. They're gonna get killed by the Chiefs or the Ravens. They're gonna get killed.
I think they're gonna take a 28-3 lead, and the coach is gonna realize that he doesn't know what he's doing. That's just gonna happen.
Hire Dan Quinn too.
They bring all those guys back. So. We'll talk about Purdy as we go to the predictions. We go to next year.
One sec. Shanahan, you don't have to bring up 28-3. He already choked a Super. He had a 10-point lead against Mahomes in a Super Bowl himself.
Right,
so don't bring up. Who cares about 28-3? He chokes everywhere. He chokes as a head coach. He chokes as an offensive coordinator. Ugh, killing me with that.
That's killing him. Oh, yeah.
That honestly.
Oh, it kills you.
Look, if I were to rank like my worst Tom Brady moments ever, like moments where I was just destroyed by the Patriots, that's actually number 2. I still think that AFC Championship D Ford game is number 1. But that Atlanta night, Jaylen Brown tweets out "Pass the sticks" because he's an Atlanta guy.
I will say that. I think the Atlanta game was bad. That Seattle game was even worse, though. Come on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But
in the pantheon of just choking by coaches, you cannot choke more than Dan Quinn and Pete Carroll choked in that game. The ball's on the 1-yard line. You got 3 chances to punch it in.
The issue is with that, and where it's different, like my reaction to that and yours, is that's the first time I ever saw the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Like, for you, that was like, oh, my God, they just won their 4th one. For me, it was like, oh, my God, these chokers actually finally won something. Because I didn't see them win the first 3, so it had been 10 years.
That's true.
So it was like that one didn't hurt as bad. Once it was like every single year, it was like they could be winning the Super Bowl. The Chiefs one was the ultimate one where it was like, holy crap.
That's a good point.
Chiefs should win that game.
That's a good point. A good point. Postmortem, you just made your take on Jordan Love is he'll never win a Super Bowl.
No, not even close.
Never.
No. Never play in a Super Bowl.
Oh, never play. What leads you to believe that?
I don't know. I really am turned off by what I saw. I cannot get over how bad he was in the fourth quarter. And look, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. Only one team wins, and half the time it's Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. So, like, what are you going to do?
Well,
it's not easy to win the Super Bowl.
Half the time it's Patrick Mahomes. Actually, half the time it's Tom Brady. The other half, it's the rest of the guys.
No, it's half the time. No, it's these two are winning all the time. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
When's the last time they played an AFC Conference Championship game without one of those two quarterbacks? Like 2009?
I'd have to think back. Because didn't the Patriots go to 9 straight AFC 8? And now the Mahomes...
And their 8th one was Mahomes' first, and now he's on 6.
Wow, that's
so it's
amazing.
8,
that's amazing.
5, so
that
it's
is
5
amazing.
plus 8, so it's 13. 13 straight.
Hey, guess what? Wilmington math, A+. Good job. 5 plus 8, 13.
I think the last one was the first one that Brady started that streak was the Billy Cundiff game against the Ravens, where Cundiff missed that 31-yard field goal. So all the Pats fans complain about the kicker today that bailed out the Chiefs, even though the game was tied. You got bailed out by a kicker too. You didn't win that Super Bowl though.
I think you have to get over the Pats fans. Who cares what people think?
This is how we live.
Who cares?
The best part about this Chiefs thing and all they're winning is the New England people and how sensitive they are about it. How big of Josh Allen fans they were last night. How big of Lamar Jackson Ravens fans the Pats are going to be.
Can I ask you why are we switching up? When we get to Kansas City,
because that's all that matters.
When
Who
we get
cares
to Kansas City,
about San
Buffalo,
Francisco?
we'll talk about Kansas City, Buffalo.
Okay, let's get there. That's
and
all
then
I
at
care
the end,
about.
we'll go with the Jim Murray take on the Patriot fans. I agree with you. Okay, so Green Bay has lost; they're gone. So now we have both number 1 seeds have advanced to the championship round. Excuse me. Tampa Bay, Detroit. First game in the afternoon. Detroit with their second home football playoff game in 35 years, whatever it is. They came to play. They played. Baker Mayfield sort of shot the bed at the end of the game, throwing the ball across the body, make a bad play. But pretty good football game, pretty well coached game. Detroit has the chance to beat San Francisco, I think.
Not even close now.
Why not?
I just don't think, and I hate San Francisco. It's just Detroit. Jared Goff's not going to win a Super Bowl. He's not. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. That's why that game didn't interest me that much. It's like neither of these two teams are going to go win the Super Bowl. They're not. That's my take, honestly. You might disagree with it.
I can tell you right now,
Detroit is not winning the Super Bowl.
Tampa's not winning the Super Bowl because they lost.
Yeah, correct. And
Todd
Detroit
Bowles,
is not. Detroit won, and they're not winning the Super Bowl.
So you believe it's because of Jared Goff. So Jared Goff is not as good as Brock Purdy.
The Detroit Lions aren't as good as the 49ers, and the 49ers are at home.
Right. And you don't think that... So I always thought that with Purdy, the most important thing is getting pressure on him. Do you agree with that or not?
But that's the same thing with every quarterback in the NFL.
Every quarterback, but not everyone, because you get pressure on Ravens and the Bills, Jackson and Allen. They can scramble out and beat you.
But if you get... No, I disagree with that.
Okay, we have a point of disagreement.
If you get good pressure and set the edges and all that and get everything...
Well, I didn't say set the edges and pressure. You got to pressure. If Purdy gets any kind of pressure, he will wilt. He will wilt on the pressure. Okay? Whereas, and I think Hutchinson and some of the defensive linemen will be able to exact some pressure. Do I think they're going to win the football game? Probably not. But do I think they have a puncher's chance? Because if they played 10 times, because now we know it's Detroit and I think that Detroit wins 4 or 5 times.
I'll say 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I'll give them a chance. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, though. Look, we are ending this podcast forever if Detroit wins the Super Bowl. I will never step foot in this studio again if Detroit wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's here we go. This is what last night was like, guys. Watching.
No, it's
Kansas.
not.
Yes, it was.
I'm
yes,
making a statement. This podcast.
I'm never going to come back.
That's true, though. If Detroit wins the Super Bowl, I will never step foot in the studio again. That's guaranteed.
We'll be Zooming calling.
Charles Barkley, guaranteed. No, I'm not ever doing a podcast. That's how confident I am that Detroit is not winning the Super Bowl. They're not.
Okay, he's confident.
Yeah.
Okay, when they win the Super Bowl, I'm going to bring you in the studio and make you come back.
No, when they win the Super Bowl, I will never come in here again. But that's not going to happen. So I will be in here again.
Can I ask you a question? That is such an unreasonable ultimatum that you're making.
It's not.
It is unreasonable.
No,
Come
it's
on.
not.
That is such Jack Boyle hyperbole. Jack Boyle hyperbole.
It's like Chris Russo, Mad Dog. Mad Dog saying about Arizona. What did he say? Arizona can't make the World Series. If they make the World Series, I'll retire.
He said that. Did he retire?
And he didn't retire. But guess what? I will. If Detroit does not. Now Mad Dog gets a lot of money for talking into a microphone. I get nothing. I will retire. I'm done. If Detroit wins the Super Bowl, I'm done.
So I'm going to talk to a wall by myself. That's what's going to happen.
No, you have to bring in Tommy T. He'll bail on you again.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Okay. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So.
No. That bridge is never getting crossed because Detroit's not winning the Super Bowl. That's how you're not getting this.
But they have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
No, they don't.
There's 4 teams left. They got 1 shot.
No. Okay. Yeah, they got a shot.
Oh, here's what we'll do. Let's revisit. We'll revisit this next week. If they do win, we're going to revisit it and see who their matchup is against. Okay. All right? You want to revisit next week? Or are you going to?
Obviously, we're going to revisit next week. We're going to talk about the Super. Yeah, of course, we're going to revisit next week. Yeah.
No, but if they win, are you going to stick with the same line of? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. I got you.
I'll be the biggest Ravens. If the Ravens beat the Chiefs and Detroit wins, I'll be the biggest Ravens fan you've ever seen. I will die on this hill. Detroit's not winning the Super Bowl. They're not.
All right. This is the best take we've had in a couple.
They
months.
also have that guy. He's a big. He's a loudmouth. The kid from the Eagles, Gardner Johnson, I think's his name, the defensive back. Dude, just play football. Oh, he was just the Baker Mayfield stuff. He's getting annoying, and he did it after they lost the Super Bowl last year. He ran his mouth. You lost.
All right, so
this player's annoying me.
So the Tampa Bay Detroit game Jack had no interest in because he don't think anyone could win the Super Bowl.
True.
So let's go from there. So Baker Mayfield, we know how he played. But Jared Goff did make a Super Bowl. Then he only scored 3 points.
Yeah, thanks.
Right.
That was.
Yeah, thanks. That
had
was
a lot
Tom
of money
Brady's last Super Bowl. Now Patrick Mahomes has to get one more
the Chiefs would have murdered them. If D Ford lines on sides, the Chiefs kill that Rams team. That Rams team, by the way, never should have been there because they missed that call in New Orleans. Do you remember that pass interference? I was pumped because I had the future on the Rams that year. But do you remember that? The missed call in New Orleans, the pass interference, with the tackled the guy. Yeah, the Saints should have been in that Super Bowl.
That was just a bad call. And of bad calls, that's like up in the pantheon of bad calls. It's good.
It's one of the worst calls in the NFL.
Right, and that was Drew Brees' probably last chance to win a Super Bowl again.
Yeah,
second one. So does that solidify it? All right. So now to the game of the week, which is where I had to sit back and I was probably about 10 feet from Jack for 2 hours and a half, 3-4 hours watching this game and. The ups and downs of Mr. Boyle throughout the game were incredible. Oh, my God, he cost him a Super Bowl. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Oh, my God, this. Oh, my God, that. So, straight up, take on that game real quick. You got 2 minutes.
Best offensive performance from the Chiefs all year. Exactly what I was hoping would happen. Exactly why I stuck with the Chiefs is I just thought eventually they're going to figure this out. And I mean, the 2 games of the playoffs, they've looked really good on offense. Obviously, poor red zone execution against the Dolphins. But no, the Chiefs' offense, my God. There's a tweet, a guy tweeted before the game. It's like, after the first drive, I don't know if the Chiefs' offense can keep up with the Bills' offense in this game. And after about 10 minutes, you could tell that the Chiefs could do whatever they wanted. It was their highest yards per play in the Mahomes era in a game last night. It was 8 yards per play. Something crazy.
So they played well on offense. Pacheco is the real deal, though, for them. He's the key.
They have not ran the football well this year, and they ran the football very well last night. Very well. So did the Bills, by the way. The Bills
they did.
Really ran the football well in the first half.
They did. So the first half was up, and it was a lot. I think it was first half was pretty even. The whole game was relatively even. You win by 3 points. It's going to be an even game.
The Bills had the ball, but I thought the Chiefs played better.
I thought that Kelsey played much better than he had. Mahomes was hitting his receivers. They weren't dropping passes. They're effectively running the game. What's his name? Etienne. Is that it? Not. Who's there?
Edwards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Right. Clyde. He had one great 18-yard run. They were both defenses were a little bit civvy in the first half and the quarter. And then all of a sudden it shut down, though. Everybody shut down, though. What happened in the second half to both offenses?
They're good. What do you mean
they didn't score much?
Yeah, they did. The Chiefs were moving the ball at will. So were the Bills.
How many did they
game.
Score?
I don't know what the point total
I think there was.
the ball.
Until the Chiefs scored late. I think there were 8 possessions with nobody scored.
Maybe that's true, but look,
we were watching a different game.
There's good. The Chiefs have good defense and all that. So I don't know what the point. The offense has played really well in that game. It's great watching 2 great quarterbacks play each other. It is.
That's true.
And now I get Brock Purdy versus Jared Goff. Ugh. Lamar Jackson versus Mahomes, both two-time MVPs, awesome, great football game. This is what the NFL is about. It's so much different when you have 2 great quarterbacks just battling each other versus this crap we get in the regular season and even in the postseason.
Okay, so that's true. I agree with that. Back to the football game, there were a couple big plays. There were 2 fumbles. That one was recovered by Kansas City, and the other one was fumbled out of the end zone. Now we could talk ad infinitum about that rule, which is absolute crap, and I agree with you, it's crap. But your boy Hardman, that play was called. That play should have scored. I don't know how he didn't score anyway.
I don't know why they're giving him the ball.
Why were you so frustrated with that play, Jack?
Because the game was over. They're up 10 points. The game's over if he scores a touchdown. Like I said, we are legacy chasing. We need Super Bowls. We need wins. We need road playoff wins, signature wins like that. We need to win games. Patrick Mahomes needs to win these games. His guy fumbling on the 1-yard line to put the game away is like the most egregious thing of all time. If the Bills had won that game, do you know how much people would be talking about that play right now?
In Kansas City, a lot.
No, everywhere.
In Buffalo,
everywhere.
They would be talking about it in Buffalo.
Oh, I don't know. That I would, if I were a Bills fan, I would be. And the Bills won that game. That would be one of the greatest plays of my life.
So the game.
Fumble.
So he fumbles on the goal. He fumbles it through the end zone, and that rule will. You had made the point to me last night. That rule is definitely going to change how they adjudicate what you do. I still think if you fumble it out of bounds, where it goes back to the point where you fumbled it. If you fumble it through the end zone, it goes back to the point where you fumbled it. I don't think there's any penalty for that. A fumble's a fumble. So he didn't even fumble out of the end zone. He fumbled it into the end zone out of bounds. It wasn't even through the end zone for a touchback. So that rule has come to bite a couple teams in the ass, too, over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, the Steelers got screwed on that call. The Steelers got totally screwed on that call against the Patriots one year. But, yeah, no, it's a stupid... It's maybe not the stupidest rule, but who complains? I can't complain about the rule when just don't fumble. Also, they did call him down on the field. It did look like the ball was loose. That's kind of hard to overturn that call, but it is what it is. Again, the Chiefs won, so that play doesn't matter. But my God, that was close to being an all-time disaster of a play. That was close to being D Ford. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was. All right, so we're coming down the stretch. The Chiefs are up by 3. They give the ball back. I think there were about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. And
we should talk about the fake punt first. That led to the Hardman thing.
Yeah.
Is them calling a fake punt like it was a Disney movie, giving the ball to Damar Hamlin. What was that?
Again,
if you're going to go for it, get the ball in Josh Allen's hands. What are you doing?
Again, if you listen to what Tony Romo said, and I listened, I think you were frustrated laughing at them. First of all, you're right about giving the ball. If you're going to go for it, give it to Josh Allen to go for it. Totally agree with you. But what they were saying was the Chiefs only had 10 men on the line.
Cool.
And somebody thought, whoever it was, that they had the advantage and they were going to be able to get the first down. I agree with you. Dumb play, and it came back not to bite them in the ass because Hardman fumbled. Okay, so again, dumb play, especially on that side of the 50. I mean, if you're on the other side of 50, maybe, but you're absolutely right. If you've got Josh Allen who can run for 4 yards, or whoever anybody they have.
The problem is you never should go for. They're on like their own 30-yard line with the whole quarter left, down 3 points. What are you going for? It didn't make. He had zero trust in the defense because the Chiefs were just going right through their defense at that point. Even though you tell me they weren't.
Okay, let's go. When I'm here we go. We're going to look up what was the score at the halftime. What was the final score?
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
They were moving. Nobody scored touchdowns.
Use the eye test. The Bills could not stop them. They couldn't.
The Chiefs couldn't stop the Bills either in the first half either.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
They didn't stop the Chiefs. They didn't stop the Bills. They did stop them. Bills missed a field goal. Went right. They missed a field goal.
Cool. What are you arguing here? You're proving my point. I'm saying nobody stopped anyone.
But they didn't score much in the second half.
Because the guy fumbled on the 1-yard line. Yeah,
and they missed a field goal.
Yeah. Thanks for helping me with my argument.
And they went for a fake punt and they fumbled.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do.
But it doesn't matter. Okay, hold on. He fumbled means they didn't score. Means they made a mistake. There were 2 turnovers in the game. What were the 2 turnovers in the game?
I'm not saying that there was high score. I'm saying that the ball was moved easily by the Chiefs. That's it. If you disagree with that, whatever. But I have the numbers that back it up.
What were the 2 turnovers in the game?
The fumble and that was it, right?
The punt.
Oh, turnover on downs.
2 turnovers. That means Josh Allen played pretty well. So Josh Allen gets the ball back, and I agree with you. 2 great quarterbacks. I think the 3 top quarterbacks in the NFL: Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, definitely. And
I mean that's the recency bias. It's hard to not say like Joe Burrow or.
Well, Joe Burrow's hurt right now. He can't play.
Okay, right now.
Right now he can't play.
Sure.
All right. So Josh Allen gets the football, driving them up the field. He makes a couple big 3rd and 4th down plays, and then, like you said, he goes to hero ball. Why do you think he goes to hero ball there at the 30-yard line?
Because that's his brain. I mean, that's what he is. We know what he is. If you look at the yard, again, it's not a ton of yards, but that's because of how much clock they ran. That's why the yards don't look like that. But there weren't as many plays called. It's a good. What do you mean? It's a good excuse. They ran the football.
What was the second half score?
Buffalo ran the football 39 times. Ooh. I bet you they haven't ran the ball anywhere close to that in the Josh Allen era.
That's true.
You know why? That's because they keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. The Chiefs ran the ball 24 times.
What was the score? How many points were scored in the second half?
21.
21. How many points scored the first half?
More than that.
More than that? Okay, good.
30.
30? Ooh, that's a lot more.
Yeah. Not really.
All right. Let's go back to Josh Allen. Let's go back to Josh Allen and hero ball, and let's psych through that last 4 plays with him. I agree with you that they were effective running short. He missed 2 throws, though. Do you think?
Who?
Josh Allen, that last play.
Yeah, well, there was one he had the guy open in the end zone where Romo was like, oh, he got hit. Chris Jones pushed Deion Dawkins back. He barely got touched. He just missed the throw. Yeah, he missed throws. Yeah, he was not good. The last few plays of that game, Josh Allen did not play well. The whole other time in the game, he played good. He stayed patient, and he let the game come to him. When he starts to try and force things, again, we'll say it. We have to say he did get screwed by Diggs. Did screw him. He threw one of the best balls we've seen in NFL history. That was one of the best passes I've ever seen. It goes right through his hands. But still, at the end, he tried to play a little bit hero ball instead of go get yourself 10 more. Go scramble for 6-7 more yards. Get an easier field goal.
That kick would have missed by 10 more yards. Though.
Yeah, I know, but it's a different kick if you're kicking.
I know, a different kick. So the second game of the weekend comes down to a field goal opportunity, and the kicker missed. And that kicker, Bass, was really. He was pretty effective all year, and I mean, he really pushed that.
Can I just say, this is how the second half started. So the second half starts, Kansas City has the ball, touchdown. The Bills get the ball, touchdown.
And then nothing.
Kansas City gets the ball, touchdown. The Bills get the ball, downs. The Chiefs get the ball, should be a touchdown, but it's a fumble.
Right.
The next is, then there's 2 punts, and then the missed field goal by the Bills. So no, it wasn't like the defenses were stopping each other out.
The last where they had to stop, they stopped. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they did because they missed a field goal.
Right. So, Bass misses the field goal. For all you people who were not alive back in the 90s, Scott Norwood missed a field goal wide right against the Giants, which gave Bill Parcells a Super Bowl championship, which is an amazing thing. But, and then, so again, it came down to this. I have a problem with having a great player like Josh Allen, letting it come down to your kicker in a windy situation. It's just, coaches are so... Sometimes so conservative. Just get the first down, like you said, and see what you can do.
Vinatieri hit a kick in the snow.
No kidding.
I'm just saying. It's like you got a kicker or you're not. You can't blame the coach for playing it. They weren't playing conservative. Josh Allen was taking end zone shots.
Well,
so they weren't playing conservative.
Not conservative, but they could have gotten the first down.
41-yard field goal. You can't miss a 41-yard field goal.
And you don't miss 41-yard field goals and win Super Bowl championships.
You know who doesn't miss that kick? Harrison Butker. You know who doesn't miss that kick? Steven Gostkowski. You know who doesn't miss that kick? Adam Vinatieri. You know who doesn't miss that kick? Justin Tucker.
Right.
It is what it is. I mean,
that Carlson guy for Green Bay does, though.
Yeah, Carlson, look at his stats at Auburn.
In perfect conditions, too. Actually, it was raining, but I mean, 2 times. There was 4 games. 2 games came down to kickers missing kicks. Amazing. To me, that's amazing.
Yeah, but it's a tough job. It's a tough job.
So Kansas City gets through and has to go on the road for the second time to Baltimore. Although Mahomes did play a road game against Tampa in the Super Bowl. No, everybody forgets that. I agree with you on that. So now let's go back. Let's do the NFC first. So we have Detroit, who will never make the Super Bowl, according to Mr. Boyle, playing San Francisco.
No. Jordan Love will never make the Super Bowl. Detroit won't win it this year.
Okay. So
there's nothing. I'm not future killing Detroit. I'm just saying this year. Jordan Love, though, in the future, screw that.
Okay, so I got Detroit will not make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously, yes.
No, yes or no? Are they going to make the
Why
Super Bowl?
Why are you asking me that question? I've said the answer 10 times.
So they're not going to make the Super Bowl. So you're going San Francisco.
No, all of a sudden I think Detroit's going to win the Super Bowl after what we just talked about for 30
You're going to San Francisco, right?
No. Of course I'm going with San Francisco.
Why?
Because, what do you mean why? Because Detroit's never going to win. That's why.
This is what it's like living at my house.
What is that?
Jack,
this is what it's like for me. How are you asking me
why?
This question?
He goes, because Detroit's never going to win a Super Bowl. Okay, Brock Purdy's going to step up or not?
Because they sucked last week. They're going to play better this week. No, Brock Purdy won't step up, but they're still going to win the football game. Now, that does not happen against Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes. They're going to lose.
Okay, so San Francisco's going to win Super Bowl. Yes?
No.
Okay, good. All right, we got that squared away.
You all know who my pick is. Again,
you don't know who. We're not going to pick the Super Bowl.
We're
not going to pick the Super Bowl until we
get
but
you know who my pick in that Ravens game is.
Yeah, I do. I'm
so
not stupid.
Everyone who listens to this podcast.
I do. Not stupid. Kansas City. So we're going to go San Francisco. I would love to see Detroit win because I do want to talk to. I do want to have a conversation with an empty wall after the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I'd love to see Detroit win. I think you're absolutely right. You play a crap game coming out. San Francisco right the ship a little bit. I'm not sold, and like you aren't, on Brock Purdy winning the Super Bowl. That's simple. But I think that when you get to the NFC Championship game, you're at home. All that emotion that Dan Campbell's brought, are they able to recharge it every day? Will be an issue. So we both have San Francisco for next week, correct?
A Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson Super Bowl, just like the 2 weeks of the conversation about those two quarterbacks is just going to be nauseating. So let's hope that doesn't
Why
happen.
don't you like Lamar?
No, I like Lamar, but I'm just saying the way people talk about those two quarterbacks is because Lamar is underrated, I guess, and Brock Purdy's overrated. They play, I don't know, I just don't want to hear it.
No matter what happens in NFC, though.
And it'll become a race thing,
no matter what,
too.
I know, you're right. No matter what,
annoying.
The black versus white. No matter what happens in the NFC, we're either going to get Brock Purdy or Jared or Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff. So we're sort of screwed anyway, right?
Well, I'm not going to talk too bad about Jared Goff. He is what he is. But yeah, I guess we are screwed.
All right, let's go to the other side, which is where...
Who else are we going to get? Jordan Love? Dak Prescott?
Jordan Love, Dak Prescott. Well, you could have had Baker Mayfield. It's funny.
Dak Club stat. Dak's QBR in the playoffs is higher than Tom Brady's QBR in the playoffs. Just a fun fact.
Okay, but
keep going. Keep going.
Again, if you look at the quarterbacks, definitely the quarterback advantage goes to the AFC. Definitely overall.
But that's in the preseason. The quarterback advantage goes to the AFC because the AFC has so much more quarterbacks than the NFC does. They just do.
Correct. So now we get a really great matchup. You're right. 2-time MVPs, Mahomes versus Jackson. Jackson got the monkey off his back just a little bit with the win because they really had struggled all since he's been around getting out of that first round, and he did.
He's going to win this game, though.
So
it doesn't matter. If they lose this game, it doesn't matter.
This is his legacy game, you think?
Yeah. This is his legacy year. He's got to win the Super Bowl this year. This is the best team he's got. I don't know how this contract works and when the cap thing hits. I saw something with Allen. His cap hit was $15 million this year. Next year it's 42.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Lamar, it's maybe a year or two from now. It's the same thing. I thought we were told. I think Mahomes' contract kicked in this year or something.
Yeah. Back to the cap thing. You know what the biggest farce of the whole world is?
I don't understand.
No. Why the hell does this NFL need a salary cap? No. Jesus Christ! They all share money. It's a socialist organization. But they all share money. They make billions and billions of dollars.
The salary cap it helps. It really helps the parity of the league, which I like. That's it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
the NFL is the best parity of any league.
Yeah, because they don't pay anybody.
Any sport in the world. Because they don't pay the NFL, if you suck in the NFL, you can win the Super Bowl in 2 years. You can. There's no other sport really where you can do that. Maybe baseball, but that's
there's a cap.
Not because of a salary cap. That's because you have the Yankees.
So again, I think that's the biggest farce. These guys are making billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they have a cap on. You want to pay your quarterback who's a great player, who's the face of the franchise.
They pay them.
But he gets kicked in. It's not how much they get paid. It's the fact that it's you go. Why should why should you not pay your quarterback? Because you don't want to hit the cap space, which is bullshit. That's all.
Okay, you can still win with the quarterback being paid.
The other thing is Deshaun Watson getting paid more than Lamar Jackson is the biggest farce in the NFL as well too. So
yeah, no, that was all the J-Trev scout types that all the execs valued Deshaun Watson higher than they valued Lamar Jackson.
They like people because the execs are like Bob Kraft. They love those masseuses that they can sexually harass. I'll probably get pinged for that one, but that's okay. All right, so Jackson versus Mahomes, great football game. First game of the day, so we don't have to be up late to watch it next Sunday night. Where do you see it going? It's a home field advantage for Baltimore. Coaching advantage is probably even. Quarterbacks are probably even. Where's the advantage that makes Kansas City win the football game?
Kansas City, you said quarterbacks are even. Kansas City, at the end of the day, has a major quarterback advantage.
I don't agree with
they have a major quarterback advantage over every single team. Just because look at his playoff numbers, he almost never makes mistakes in the playoffs. At the end of the day, they have a major quarterback advantage. I think
so you're going to go. Kansas City's got the quarterback advantage, right? That's what you're saying. That's why they're going to win, or are they going to win because their defense has stepped up so much?
But their defense, I think the Ravens' defense is just as good as the Chiefs. So I can't their defense has to play good to win. But the reason they're going to win this football game is because of Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, that's a good, and I think conversely, the reason Baltimore wins is because Lamar Jackson plays up to his capabilities, right? So it's all in the quarterback's heads. Yeah. Coaching-wise, who do you trust more, Andy Reid with the clock or John Harbaugh with the clock?
I don't know. I don't know. Reid's won, so Reid's won more, so I'll go Reid.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. I worry about Andy Reid sometimes, but he has won. Got to give him credit. He's won. He's taken a quarterback, and he's won with a quarterback. So we're looking. I'm going to pick Baltimore only because one of us has to be a contrarian right now. So I'm going Baltimore. You go Chiefs. I would love to see Mahomes win for the same reason you do. It'll shut these idiot Patriot fans up about the greatness of their quarterback and their team. So I love to see him win because nobody likes him up here, and it's fun to see everybody aggravated. But I got to go with Baltimore because I think this is the year for Lamar, and we'll see what happens. And I'm going to stick with San Francisco as well as you because I think that game. What do you think the spread there will be? 7.5?
Oh, I have no idea. The San Francisco game, no idea. Yeah, that actually sounds kind of right. 7.5 might be a bit much. I'll go it'll be 6.
And I think
and then the Baltimore game will be 2.
2.5. I was thinking 2.5, 3.5.
Yeah.
Not that I gamble on anything, but
we do have to get the worst sports take ever from Colin Cowherd and back when he used to do a show with the fat bastard, as Stephen A. Smith calls.
So this is Whitlock and Cowherd.
Whitlock. Will Kansas City regret giving up on Alex Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Kansas City really has been regretting that since the day they made that decision. It's been horrible. I mean, since 2018, they've done nothing. Kansas City, nothing.
You know, it's just funny. People, if you remember back to that time, Mahomes dropped in the draft a little bit. Kansas City took the flyer on him. Everybody looked at him like, what? Then Andy Reid, like the smart coach that he is, sat him for the first year, got him matured, and ready to bring him in. It's a lot of parallels, except for Brady was drafted in the 6th round. It's a lot of parallels to Tom Brady. You know, come in and replace a veteran quarterback and just be instantly successful.
Number 1 pick, too. They're both, Bledsoe and Smith are both number 1 picks, right?
Correct. That's true, too. So,
yeah, but I mean,
Smith wasn't number 1 with Kansas City, though, I don't think.
He was with 49ers.
Right. He was
49ers
he was the number 1 pick, though. Right. All right. So, San Francisco, Kansas City for you, San Francisco, Baltimore for me. That's where we'll let that lie right there.
Can't believe they let Jason Whitlock on freaking an actual show.
No, they did. Jack, come on. We could probably call him up. I bet you'd come up on our show and argue about our whiteness if they wants to. What do you think?
Well, you got the wrong guy. He would.
No, no. Okay,
we don't have to talk about this.
Yeah, it's done. Let's switch over. Friday night, Celtics Nuggets. Great game at the Garden. You have to admit it was a very well played game. 2 really good basketball teams. 2 teams with 2 really good superstar players. One team's superstars played better than the other one.
Well, Derek White and Porzingis played good.
Yeah.
There are superstars.
Yeah, Celtics lost the game. I don't think it's indicative of anything. You're not going to win every game at home. That's just obvious. And you're going to get a stinker from your superstars every now and then. And it ended up costing them because the stinker was against a good team that could compete. Where do you see a 7-game series, Celtics, and we'll talk about this at the end of the show, who we think is going to win. 7-game series, Celtics versus Denver Nuggets. Where's the advantage for the Celtics, and where's the advantage for the Nuggets?
The advantage is the Celtics have more guys who can give you 20, right? I saw nothing from Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon and those guys. I saw nothing at all from those guys. Jamal Murray made tough shot after tough shot after tough shot. Jokic made tough shot after tough shot, but that's what Jokic does. And great passes, but the 3 and the 4 and the 5, like when you're going on the teams, that goes to the Celtics. If you're ranking who has the best supporting cast there. So yeah, if you just get which you don't know, but you need Tatum and Brown to play good, and then you get your help from Derek White and Porzingis and Holiday, and you should beat that team. But if Tatum and Brown play like that, you won't beat that team.
Correct.
But the advantage to me is everyone. It's like not depth, but it is the Celtics' superstar depth. Is the fact that they just have more guys who can score. And at the end of the game, in the second half, the Celtics just didn't make shots, and that's going to happen. And that's how the Celtics live and die with the 3 in that. Over a 7-game series, I think they make enough shots to beat that team.
Do you think at some point in a 7-game series they have to maybe look to adjust and get Porzingis more involved in the mismatches?
Yeah, but they're talking that Porzingis did not play. Porzingis started that game off like crazy. He did not play well in that second half, getting the switches and getting the smaller guy. He didn't make those shots. They talk about not shooting all these threes. Like Tatum missed a couple layups in the last 3 minutes of the game. They did go to the hoop. They did not just take threes. The 3 they took was a wide open Derek White corner 3. Porzingis gets the offensive rebound, was going to put it back up for a dunk. And they call an offensive foul.
Right.
So it wasn't that they were just chucking up threes at the end of the game like freaking Kendrick Perkins thinks they were.
Yeah, again, Jokic played great. And Murray, was it Murray who played great for them?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Murray played great. And that's what you get, though. I mean, when you have good teams, you got to beat good teams with your good players, and the Celtics just didn't. I generally agree with you that the Celtics could go 6 deep, maybe 6.5 in the playoffs, and win a lot of games. I think that when it gets down to the finals, if they make the finals, they need to have their superstars contribute and win for them and win big. So that's how I would look at it. Right. That's how I would look at it. Just an aside that Jokic is the best player in the league. Yes or no?
Probably yeah. Yeah, I'll go yeah.
Because I think he knows how to win.
I'm just trying to think.
Embiid or Jokic really is all it's down to.
Embiid, yeah, okay.
It is.
I was thinking Giannis before I would think Embiid.
Yeah, we'll see. Giannis, he's another one.
Embiid, he's averaging 35 and 13, and he's got all this blah. Embiid, just wait until it's Game 6 and Game 7 of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
But he's got Tyrese Maxey.
Just wait. Yeah, you had him last year. James Harden last year too. Just wait until it's Game 6 and Game 7, and he can't breathe on the court. He can't breathe. They also officiate differently in the playoffs, where he doesn't just get every single call. Like that the Nuggets-Celtics game was officiated like they did not call anything, which I like. Yes. And that's how the playoffs are officiated, so that takes away from Embiid. Embiid, it's down to Jokic and Embiid.
I think they're the two MVP candidates, though.
Yeah, okay, MVP, good for Embiid won the MVP last year. I don't care. What does that matter? Embiid.
Well, again, Jokic. All right, so off the Celtics, staying with basketball, I want to, we've talked about this a lot at home. College basketball, the biggest story in college hoop this year has nothing to do with men. It's Caitlin Clark at Iowa. And we actually watched a couple games, right?
Not really.
Well, yeah, you have.
I have not. No,
you have more than me.
Games. I wish I had. I have not caught them much.
So, what's your take on why is men's college basketball sort of like, and women's college basketball? Everyone wants to see this girl play.
Here's why. I'm gonna get you the 2024 NBA mock draft. So now Caitlin Clark, this is a special example where Caitlin Clark is the best women's college basketball player of all time. She's the Pistol Pete of the women's game. So it's like, even if there was a superstar men's player, she still would take the attention from him because he's not Michael Jordan. I mean, she's the Michael Jordan of women's basketball right now. She's revolutionizing the game.
Correct.
Nobody's watched college basketball. Nobody's watched as much women's college basketball as they do when she plays. She sells out opposing arenas. It's like LeBron in high school, when they would have to rent out all these, they'd go play at Akron because so many people wanted to watch her play. She's fun to watch. She has a very modern style game.
Yep.
And, she hits shots.
Right. And the other thing I think has really impacted the NCAA is the transfer portal and the one and done. So you don't really have teams where you get used to the players and you know the players over the course of 3 or 4 years. So you have audio for me?
No, I just have the mock draft. So this is one of the problems with men's basketball right now. It used to be, number one pick. Oh, they got Zion Williamson. Oh, Anthony Davis.
Cooper Flagg, right?
Yeah. So next year they'll actually have Cooper Flagg will be a pretty good story. This year, the Detroit Pistons, they have a number one pick, obviously. Selecting Alexandre, I don't know how you pronounce that, Sarr. Plays for the Perth Wildcats. He's French, so he's playing in Australia right now.
Nobody's heard of him.
Number 2, the Spurs are taking Nikola Topic. Nikola Jokic? Nikola
Nobody's
Jokic.
Heard of him either.
He's Serbian, point guard, 6'6". Pro comparison, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 3, Zachary Risarcher. He's a French guy. Number 4, Ron Holland, plays in the G League. Number 5, Matas Buzelis, plays in the G League. Number 6, Rob Dillingham. There we go, Kentucky player. I know him. He makes a ton of threes.
All right, so there you go. So you're right.
The draft player is the first college basketball player. Used to be, if I go to the 2015 draft.
You used to have all be college players,
We had a draft one year. We picked Marcus Smart right after Julius Randle.
Yep.
Pick before him was Dante Exum. 4th pick, a foreigner. 3rd pick, Joel Embiid. 2nd pick, Jabari Parker. 1st pick, Andrew Wiggins. Do you know how electric college basketball was when all those players were there?
Yes.
It's unbelievable. And now it's this dude from Perth. That's
because
what Man United does their preseason.
I think the irony of that thing is that Jokic and Embiid, all these foreign players, are making people scout better in the foreign area. But again, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you that the basketball's lost its luster. Now, in our household, college basketball's lost its luster because Temple sucks. Completely sucks.
Shout out John Rothstein for, again, proving he's the dumbest reporter on the internet. I can't stand him with this. He thinks the A-10 is like John Calipari's coaching there. What is wrong with this guy? Does he know what he's talking about?
The A-10's nowhere for us to be.
The
nowhere,
A-10?
Nowhere.
What does the A-10
nowhere.
have?
Temple lost its way 5-6 years ago when people, actually since 90s when they were in the Big East, They were actually in the Big East for football. If they had successfully played Big East football, they would have been put in the Big East. Or well, I can't say that because Nova and Connecticut would have kept us out because they're pricks. But if we had done something in the 90s, we could. But it's hard to be a college basketball fan for me now with Temple sucking so bad. Plus, I think as you get older, it loses some of its luster if you don't have a really skin in the game.
But again, like, what am I? Do I want to watch Hunter Dickinson? Do I want to watch Kyle Filipowski? No. I said this earlier. Like, Duke, North Carolina, when that game's on, I have no desire to watch that game.
Zach Edney.
Like I said, I used to be able to name their whole lineups.
That's
like
true.
I said, that team, Tyus Jones, point guard, Quinn Cook, 2 guard, 3 guard, Justice Winslow, 4, Emil Jefferson, Celtics assistant coach, 5, Jaleel Okafor, coming off the bench, they had Grayson Allen. I knew all these guys.
Jack
I knew
Look
all
at him
these
go.
guys.
Good.
Now Duke, they got Filipowski. I think Baycott still plays for UNC.
Yes,
I don't want
he
to
does.
watch that game. I don't want to watch the game. Then I see like group chat. They're all Big East guys. You know, Kevin Big Xavier guy and all. I don't care at all about the Big East. Creighton. Who cares? Marquette. Like Villanova.
Actually, Marquette's really good with Shaka.
No. I'm saying these are the.
Marquette.
I'm not saying they suck. I'm saying these are the good teams that I could care less about. I could care less about Creighton, Marquette. I'm trying to think. Give me another team in the Big East that's like
Seton Hall.
No, but they're not that good.
Georgetown. St. John's.
St. John's, yeah.
Providence.
all these teams.
Butler.
Are they good?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
All right, circling back, Caitlin Clark, biggest story in basketball, because again, it's something you see, and you're right, the no name or the quick turnaround or the NIL or whatever the hell's happening in college basketball. You make a great point that there's no way to really glom onto a team and really root for that team. So from college basketball, I want to switch over just real quick. Again, winter weekend. The Red Sox held their winter weekend this week. No ownership people went. So what's your take on what are they selling us now with that winter weekend? They did the Papelbon show, which I thought was cool to do. He's a personality. So if they're going to build their program, are they building their program of personalities, or are they building the program on the baseball team?
You're asking the wrong person. I really don't care. I mean, they're liars. They're useless. They backtrack. They lied while backtracking. I mean, Werner was talking about his full throttle comment about like, well, that's not really what I meant. Dude, after I played the clip on the show, after you said full throttle, you went and talked about players with high WAR and superstar players. You were talking about baseball players. You were not talking about your way of life. They just lied to us. And John Henry can't even be bothered to show up. I'm done. I'm sick. I'm not watching. I don't care. I really don't care.
I know you don't care. What about Alex Cora? His contract's up? Where's it going to go?
Just let your contract play out and go get the Yankees job or something. I don't know. Alex Cora, I don't know how he's feeling. Like, 4 years ago, he owed the ownership everything for rehiring him when he was like unhireable. But, you know, he shows us what he can do in 2021. He shows us how the players like him, except for Verdugo, but everyone hates Verdugo. And then just go get any team would want him. Like, who'd the Astros end up hiring? They would never touch him because the problem happened there. He would never touch him.
They hired Dusty's bench
coach. The Yankees' job is going to be open after this year because we all know that's going to fail. We all know that. They'll never fire him. That's the problem. His contract could be up. Ever. His contract could be up.
True. They won't make him a lame duck either.
Who the Mets hire? The Mets just hired somebody. That's where he should have went. The
Mets hired the bench coach from the Dodgers.
Also, if the Dodgers had any sort of balls, they'd fire their coach that loses every year. They would. If he loses again this year in like the first round and you keep him, you're a loser. You're a loser franchise.
So Alex Cora will be gone next year is the take for Jack. I think they're pulling. I think they're taking their chances.
He's gonna get fired.
We'll see what happens. I don't think they're gonna fire him.
I think they might.
They won't fire him. They won't fire him.
They're gonna be bad this year.
They might be bad. But they're not gonna fire him. They can't fire because again, my next point about winter weekend is pretty simple. I'm looking at the videos coming out, and who are the players that I recognize? Who are the players? I know Papelbon. I recognize Alex Cora. I recognize Pedro Martinez. I recognize David Ortiz. They do not have, and I love Devers, they don't have a face of the franchise. They don't have a veteran player who you can look at. You look at all those pictures, all those white relief pitchers. Who the hell are they? I mean, this is the problem I'm going to have right now.
Who cares about a face of the franchise? Can I just get a pitching staff?
No, but you do need a face of the franchise.
Let's get a pitching staff before a face of the franchise.
No, I think you need a veteran player here.
Yeah, they have that.
So they had them, though. They had Bogarts. They had Betts. They let everybody go.
Yeah.
They let everybody go. You need pitching. They need pitching. Of course they need pitching.
Betts was never a veteran player in Boston either.
But Betts was the face of the franchise. Betts was the leader. Betts was somebody that everyone would look up to
honestly,
and play for.
You talk about this face of the franchise thing. Like I said,
veteran
that is the last of my worries right now. Can I get a pitching staff? Give me the face of the franchise. Can I get 5 guys who can pitch?
I think there's 2 issues
before
there.
Face of the franchise. Can I get 5 guys who can pitch?
I think there's 2 issues here. Okay, the pitching issue is a problem. They brought, and like I've preached this, they brought Breslow in to try to solve that problem. All their players and prospects are position players, but they do not have anybody. Tristan Cassis might be the veteran leadership for Mayer, Anthony, Teal, York, whoever they have. But they need. They don't have a Dustin Pedroia to bring someone other way.
Devers takes all those guys out to dinner. Devers is paying for Cassius's meals. Cassius ain't the leader.
I tell you, I love Rafi Devers.
He doesn't speak English.
I love Rafi.
You're being xenophobic.
Right. He does. No, I'm not. He just does.
I think you're being xenophobic.
English. No. If you think Rafi Devers is the leader and face of the franchise, Rafi Devers is the best player on the team. That's all he is. That's it. So we'll see what happens. I think the winter weekend was an abject failure because, like I said, I look at the pictures and who's that? I don't know the guy. Where's Kenley Jansen? Where's Rafi Devers? They're not even there. So I don't know. They seem to be back. We were already back into the mid-'90s when we had a Harrington and the Yawkey ownership where we were just a rudderless ship, and I think that's where we're headed right now. And the reason we're headed right now there is they want to lower payroll. And they don't need to. Just like in the NBA and the NFL, John Henry's printing money. Start to spend some of your money. I mean, I don't want him to go out and just spend money just to spend it, but at least have a plan and bring players in here that are going to play here. Now, Ohtani wasn't coming here. Yamamoto, they weren't going to come here. They wanted to play on the West Coast. So that's my Red Sox take, and that's enough of the Red Sox. So we'll have plenty of time in the spring with me on the mic and Jack not here because Detroit won the Super Bowl to talk about the Red Sox.
Now that I'm thinking, I might be rooting for Detroit, so I don't have to talk about the Red Sox.
Oh my God, you are the biggest baby loser I've ever met.
Yeah, I guess
biggest baby loser. I thought you were a local personality.
I guess. I don't
yeah,
know.
You're a local.
What does that mean? What does
local
that have to do with
personality, Jack Boyle. Although you're pretty close on your prediction.
Put it in the town crier. Local personality retires
Boyle.
because Detroit won the Super Bowl.
All right, so
thankfully doesn't have to talk about the Red Sox.
All right. We are going to do a quick look down. I don't have a pencil, so you got to remember in your head.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. We have about 4 minutes. We're going to go down with each of the 7 wonders of the world will be the 7 teams in some kind of ranked order.
You get the station director in your ear telling him we get 4 minutes left?
Yeah, I got that on my... Hey, look it. I got my little clock right here. I want to get into time. I got a lot of editing to do in this show because I get all your stupid takes out. That's what I got to do. All right.
Stupid takes. Give me one stupid take I made.
One?
The Detroit thing, so you think Detroit's going to win the Super Bowl?
No, the stupid take is... The stupid take is, I am never coming back in the studio.
That's not a take.
Ever. What is that?
It's a state. That's not a take. That's not a take.
Bullshit. It's
my
bullshit.
Take is Detroit's not winning the Super Bowl.
It's horseshit.
You didn't say a bad take that I had after calling me out. You didn't.
Your bad take was, oh my God, Harvard just cost Patrick Mahomes.
That's not a take.
Okay, here we go.
Those aren't takes. Those aren't.
What's your worst take ever? Worst take ever. He doesn't have worst takes. Okay, let's get on with the program. All right, let's rank them here. You're gonna go. I'll let you take first pick.
No, I'm lost right now. You got me. You got me.
I got him dumbfounded.
Who's my worst take ever?
I'm sure we all have them.
No, there's got to be a big one.
I have to go back and listen to the previous podcast. Forget it. Let's go on.
That's going to bother me, my worst take ever, because there's definitely
I think your worst take ever is the Trevi Fountain bullshit.
Again, that's not really a take. That's a wish. That's not me saying. I'm not saying.
Here's what's
what? You know what? When we signed Ronaldo to come back to Man United, I placed a future bet on Man United to win the league and to win the Champions League. We finished like 7th and flailed out of the Champions League in the round of 16. So that was bad take. And Ronaldo just totally annihilated our locker room. Our dressing room, as they call it.
All right, so you go. We're going to go 7 teams we think can win the NBA championship.
Who's picking first?
I said I'd let you take the Celtics.
I'll let you pick first.
I'll take the Celtics.
I'll take the Celtics. All right, you. Who is the first pick?
You get the first pick. I'm giving you the first pick.
Fine, then I'll take the Celtics.
Okay, Jack's got the Celtics. I got second pick. I'm going to take the Nuggets.
I'm going to take the Bucks.
You're going to take the Bucks? I'm going to take the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Problem is we're not writing this down. You took the Timberwolves?
Yeah. Why don't you write it down on your phone? You're good at that.
No, I'm going to take...
Jack's going to take.
I'm going to take OKC.
Ooh, I like that pick. Okay, I'm going to go with the Sixers then. You can take OKC. I'll take the Sixers. I think we're done after that, right?
Clippers.
Oh, good late pick.
There's nobody
Clippers.
really else here that's worth talking about, to be honest.
No, you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Because you get 4 deep, and you're right. So who do you have? You have the Celtics. You have I have the Nuggets.
I have the Celtics, the Bucks, the Thunder, and the Clippers.
And I have the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Sixers. Oh, man, I suck. I'll take the Heat. That's it. I'm not going any deeper than that.
The Heat.
I got to take the Heat. They beat the Celtics.
You know what? Who I would take over the Heat? I'd take the Suns.
Yeah, but
just because they have talent. They have more
They
talent.
have talent, but I don't know. Again, it just shows you how there's big fine dividing. What about the Knicks?
No.
Why not?
No, they're good and all, but there's they're missing that superstar player. Like Becky Hammond said, you don't win nothing with your number 1 player being Jalen Brunson. She's not wrong. She's not saying he's a bad player. He's a 2 or a 3, though.
Right.
It's the problem with the NBA. It's like you need that guy.
What about the Pelicans?
No.
Okay. Cavaliers.
No.
And then Lakers and Nuggets and Golden State
Warriors?
Warriors.
Hell no.
On both?
Because Draymond's going to kill somebody by the time the season's over.
All right. That's a great take. Let's put that down as a take. Draymond's going to kill somebody.
That might not be wrong, though.
Might not be. Again, a top. So I think if you look at it this way, I think the Celtics, the Bucks, the Nuggets, and possibly the Timberwolves.
I think it's those 3. It's going to be one of those 3. It is.
Do you think the Timberwolves come out of the? Do you think the Timberwolves come out of the West?
No, but I think they could make the Western Conference Finals. But no, they won't. They won't win the West. They won't.
If they have
they're not ready. They're not. I did know. I'm pretty sure that Denver said last year. I forget who it was. It might have been Bruce Brown, who said that their toughest opponent in the playoffs was the Timberwolves, who they played in the first round. They said that was the toughest matchup they had. Because the next round, I forget who they played in the second round. Maybe it was the Timberwolves in the second round. Third round, they swept the Lakers. In the finals, they just annihilated the Heat.
Okay, and I think the sleeper pick there that you already made, I like the Clippers as a sleeper from the Western Conference. And the Eastern Conference, if the Bucks or the Celtics don't come out of the Eastern Conference, there's probably something weird happened, some type of injury or whatever. So, but the sleeper team for me would be the Clippers, even though they're the 4th seed right now in the Western Conference. But I think they have an opportunity. But then again, they have James Harden, so you never know what'll happen. Any sleeper other than that?
Nope. I got nothing.
Got nothing?
Well, I got one more thing to say before we leave. A little quick update for the Carlos Alcaraz Hive.
Oh my
Played
God.
at 3 a.m. this morning, 6-4, 6-4, 6-0, on to the quarterfinals, taking on a German. If he wins that, we're looking at the Medvedev rematch from the U.S. Open. And then if he wins that, we get a great match, and we Djokovic versus Alcaraz. So we're hoping that happens. It's now starting to heat up in the Australian Open. But like I said, like with Patrick Mahomes, we are legacy chasing. We need to stack these up fast.
All right, so good.
I get time here.
Hey, great Australian Open comments from Jack. Any Premier League things I need to know today?
No, we're in we're on winter break right now, which I didn't even know Premier League did. We got a week off, so no, I got no takes.
Didn't Salah get hurt in that?
Salah got hurt in a Cup of Nations. Yeah, our goalkeeper is one of the more eccentric people ever. He played in our game and decided he played in a game for Man United. The next game was their first group stage game in the African Cup of Nations tournament, and he thought that he could play in our game, hop on a private jet, and fly and make it in time and actually get playing in the game. He ended up his flight, he got stuck in an airport. He got there on time. They didn't play him. He got all mad that they weren't going to play him.
Oh, my God.
They had to beg it. He had a disagreement with the coach and quit the national team a year ago. He's the goalkeeper. He had a disagreement about tactics. He's a goalkeeper.
Don't like tactics?
They begged him to come back and play for them, and it's just funny.
That's awesome. I love the Premier League stories from you, Jack. So
I got good stories.
Episode 23 is about to come to a conclusion. Talked about the NFL playoffs predictions for next week, which we all know. We got the Celtics Nuggets basketball is going to start to take over after we get the Super Bowl taken care of. But we will be back next week with a recap of who's going to the Super Bowl. Hopefully for Jack, it's not Detroit. And for for everybody else is concerned, they probably want to see me talking to a curtain.
Just real quick, I'm rooting for Detroit against San Fran.
Oh, you're rooting for them. You don't think they'll win?
No, even if they win, they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah, because you got the Chiefs.
I'm not worried.
Right, you got the Chiefs. All right, so for episode 23, it all boils down to this. For Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road. Thanks for listening to this episode of It All Boils Down to This, recorded at WCTV Studios in our hometown of Wilmington, Massachusetts. We're always open to any ideas, critiques, topics, and guests. So if anyone out there in podcast world needs to get a hold of us, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net. Along with Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune in to the next edition of It All Boils Down to This.